guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS. Okay, so we left off with me talking about watching the Charlie Sheen documentary. I don't know what it's called, but I believe it's on Netflix. So did you watch it?
Very candid. It was very
honest.
good. Yes, it was.
I think that's how documentaries should be. If you're going to do one, if you're going to do like a whole thing, and I think a lot of people would try to make themselves look good, but...
He called both friends and enemies, and
like,
he had more enemies
like,
than friends.
I mean, he was like, let me have it, be as honest as possible, which I thought was very refreshing. And it did not make him look good at all. I mean, a lot of it was not like pretty. But it was interesting, especially because I think most people listening remember the whole like tiger's blood thing when he would just, was kind of losing his mind. And people were cheering that on. They thought it was so, like it was like a memes and everybody, like it was kind of a cultural moment that strangely somebody was like losing their mind and everybody was, crazy to watch, a little fascinating to watch. Kind of, I would say it's, a little bit like when that everything happened with Britney Spears and she kind of had a spiral. I would equate it to something like that. It was very public and he wasn't shying away from it. And it was like, holy gosh.
I think it provided a lot of insight to like, he's always been that way. He's always been like, to some degree, an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
And he's always been after, I guess he's just always been self-destructive. But it was very interesting seeing kind of how that carried with him through life. What was your big takeaway from this?
I mean, I thought Denise Richards was really interesting coming on. I think the big takeaway is, I mean, again, I have family members who have struggled with this. And one thing I've always told my kids is like, please do not take drugs because it can spiral without you even realizing it. You can take something thinking it's one thing and it's something else. And I think the thing that kind of changed his life was dating that one girl who had him shoot up. I think was it Brooke? I don't even know which one it was, but I think it was like one lady, maybe but like that had him shoot up, like, I think it was like heroin or something like some really hardcore drug. And then, in my opinion, he was already doing a lot of stuff, but that really made him spiral. What else did I think was super interesting? Denise Richards was super interesting because I feel like she went through a lot with him, and he did not back down and say that she didn't.
Yeah, and, even just seeing what's going on with her divorce situation right now, and then seeing the situation she was in with him, I think they were probably both very toxic for each other, or maybe he.
I think sometimes somebody can create so much trauma when you're with somebody, and they.
Do you think she made him toxic?
No, I do not. I think that he did that to himself.
But how do you think that connects to her situation right now?
Well, because I believe that whenever you deal with great trauma, like really, I mean, and people that have never dealt with trauma may. But there are certain people in the world, and I think she's probably one of them, who have such traumatic experiences happening. It really changes your
outlook on life.
Yeah, even like your brain chemistry. Like it really makes you a very different person. And if you don't deal with it, and I think even if you do deal with it, it's really, really hard to move forward and not have that in the back of your mind and not have that affect other relationships. But I like that he was honest about the fact that he probably wasn't the best husband or father. At one point, he was saying how he was driving his daughter home, and I think he was wasted, and he just looks back and feels so bad about it. I also thought it was really interesting that he has paid so many people money to hide things from himself. So I think before he came out saying that he had AIDS, like people knew that, and they were having him get, like, he said like $500,000 a pop. And then at some point he was talking about how he had been with men, and they were like, why would you come out now? And he was like, because people are holding that over my head, and it's interesting how if you have money, which he, like him, you have all these vultures coming after you trying to pretend like they want to be your friend and do all these things, and really they just want to take what you have, like they just want to use things against you. So they come into your life. There's a lot of vultures in the world. And I think that they swarmed around him because he was an easy target. But I thought it was, but how about you?
I don't think I really, there was no like great moral to the story here, but it was interesting just to see how his life has flowed.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that he admitted that he is like, it's embarrassing when he looks back at like the tiger blood stuff. Like he was like, I was spiraling. Yeah. I was like in a manic episode or whatever. And like now looking back, it's because he was,
I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. No other way to cut that. That was,
yeah. But I thought it was interesting that he like was like, yeah, that was crazy. And
I mean, if he'd have been like, I was normal, that would have been more shocking to me.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was really, I don't know. I thought it was great. It was super interesting, depressing, but very, very interesting. I don't know. But I what always shocks me is when I watch, and I think the Kanye West one's going to be a little bit like the Charlie Sheen one, and that, like, you're like, why? Some of this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would at least make myself look a little good. Yeah, but he really was like, no, this is just all my shit.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very honest. Which, I mean, I hope Kanye's is a little less honest. I don't want to know that much about Kanye, to be honest.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp's 2026 State of Stigma report surveyed 2,000 Americans and revealed that 85% of Americans believe that getting support is wise, yet 74% say that society discourages people from doing so. And I find that very interesting because I feel like for so long, the stigma around therapy has often been that it's so expensive, but that is really where BetterHelp comes into play. BetterHelp has over 30,000 therapists worldwide with the largest online therapy platform and have served over 6 million people globally. And it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. BetterHelp's therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. BetterHelp does the initial matchmaking work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. All you do is fill out a short questionnaire to help identify your needs and preferences, and their over 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate mean that they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to different therapists at any time from their tailored recommendations. Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Start therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/weeklydose. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/weeklydose. Some of the best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. They're comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for every occasion. That is why I love Quince. They make elevated essentials with premium materials like European linens, organic cottons, and washable silks without the traditional retail markup. We have been very loud and proud about how much we love Quince on this show. I'm actually wearing their jeans right now. I love their t-shirts, but when I tell you their underwear is so silky soft, you have to try it to fully understand what I'm talking about. Every single thing I have ordered from Quince, I had absolutely loved. And they're expanding into other verticals now too. They have caviar, they have couches, they have you name it. They've got their bedding. I've heard is incredible. I haven't ordered it, but I have heard their bedding is incredible, and I can testify everything I have bought from Quince I've absolutely loved. Ooh, including their denim. Quince also has beautiful 14-karat gold jewelry that adds subtle finishing touches. Simple hoops and dedicated chains make the most effortless outfits feel very intentional. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And fun fact, if you scroll on a product to the lower half of their website, they'll show you who makes a similar product and what they're charging to really reinstate the fact that you're getting a great deal at Quince. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/weeklydose for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/weeklydose for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/weeklydose. Summer is here, and I am, no surprise to everyone, a little behind on getting my summer body ready. But Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet has me covered, so I'm not worried about it. While you might set goals for swimsuit season, lose weight, exercise more, eat better, it's hard to achieve them without a plan. That is why, for me, Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet is my secret weapon. Prolon gives you a science-backed, structured approach to targeting fat loss, supporting lean muscle, and resetting your metabolism so you can look and feel the most confident all summer long. Prolon is a plant-based nutrition program featuring soups, snacks, beverages, all designed to nourish your body while keeping it in a fasting state, triggering cellular rejuvenation and renewal. So you are eating, but your body thinks you're fasting. And Stephanie and I have done this multiple times. When I tell you there is so much food in this box, some days I'm like, can I finish all this? But the problem is it's so good. And you do have to eat it to hit those triggers in your body to say, yeah, we're fasting, even though you're not. I won't tell you exactly how much weight I've lost when I've done Prolon, but I can tell you I was shocked. And it really is one of the only things that has actually worked for me. Ready for your own reset? For a limited time, Prolon is offering Weekly Dose of BS listeners 15% off site-wide plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/weeklydose. That's PROLONLIFE.com/weeklydose to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/weeklydose.
On a different topic, did you watch the first episode of Salt Lake City?
No.
Okay. So I want to get your opinion on this because I made a
Okay.
TikTok about it. Follow me on TikTok. I want 10,000 followers. And a bunch of people disagreed with me, but I want your professional opinion on this. Lisa Barlow was nowhere to be seen in the
Yeah.
first episode.
Okay.
She said she was on a work trip, and that's
Okay.
kind of what Brittany kept pushing. But Whitney and some of the others were like, no. They just like weren't totally buying it. They went as far as to go on a whole cast trip without Lisa Barlow.
Okay.
And the whole trip, all they talked about, all of them collectively, was how much they didn't like Lisa Barlow.
Okay.
What does that tell you?
They don't like Lisa Barlow?
But what does that tell you from like stepping back from a production standpoint? Why would Lisa not be in the first episode? And why would that be like to go on a trip is a pretty big deal to miss
Yeah.
your first cast trip. Can you just like skip your first week of work?
Probably, I would say like one or two things have happened. I mean, they normally will force you to be there. I mean, like they will make you at least film when you're not there or pretend like you months later that you were there. But you also get paid per episode. So her not being on there, she's not getting paid that episode. I will tell you that right now. That's no paycheck for her.
And it's
at
more
that-
intentional to have her nowhere in the episode than it is.
It's very interesting. So I think one of two things happened. Either A, she had not done her, she was pushing back on her
contract
and refusing to film until they gave her what she wanted or until they, came to terms with that. Now, I have filmed, I did 5 seasons. I will say a few of those seasons, I still had not finalized my contract with Bravo. But I still was filming. Like you film and you
in good faith.
Yeah, like as you're working on it, right? And then at some point, Bravo will call your bluff and they will say, legally, we only have to up you 5% every year. And what we're offering is much more than that. So you can either take it and we can be, like, this is our final answer, this is our final number, or you can just get the 5% bump that we are like obligated per contract to pay you. But I mean, whenever I did season 1, Brandy and I had a Miami trip planned. And I mean, our husbands had spent a lot of money. They knew going in that we had this trip. Like it was not a lot. It was not like something that was sprung on them last minute. And they said, you guys have to be at this Mad Hatter's thing. It's very important. So we'll fly you. That was the first time I flew Spirit Airlines. So we will change your flight and fly you. But you need to attend this event. And then right after this event, you can go. So we left like a day later because that was an obligation that I have also, like Cameron, whenever we had that ski trip, I told them forever before the season started, because you never know when the seasons are starting, right? I mean, we'd spent a fortune on a trip to Italy with the family because it was in the summer. And I said, I have this trip. Travis has spent a lot of money. Like when you have 4 people in Italy, you cannot get a regular room. You have to get a suite because if you all want to be together. So we were like, it was crazy expensive, like even our rooms. And I had to go a few days later. I was able to leave a little bit because it was part of my job, right?
There was one season, I feel like it started right around spring break, and you and Cameron and maybe someone else were like already all somewhere on trips that were like non-refundable. But they made you all work around. So I posted this TikTok, and then Lisa Barlow messaged me and said, check my stories. And I checked her stories, and she was at Sundance Film Festival, which I'm like, well, that proves absolutely nothing.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp's 2026 State of Stigma report surveyed 2,000 Americans and revealed that 85% of Americans believe that getting support is wise, yet 74% say that society discourages people from doing so. And I find that very interesting because I feel like for so long, the stigma around therapy has often been that it's so expensive, but that is really where BetterHelp comes into play. BetterHelp has over 30,000 therapists worldwide with the largest online therapy platform and have served over 6 million people globally. And it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. BetterHelp's therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. BetterHelp does the initial matchmaking work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. All you do is fill out a short questionnaire to help identify your needs and preferences, and their over 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate mean that they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to different therapists at any time from their tailored recommendations. Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Start therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/weeklydose. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/weeklydose.
Like, I don't think they're just going to give you time off and go to a whole cast trip.
Well, I mean, but maybe she said, don't pay me. And they were like, okay. So that could have happened. But to not even be in the first episode, you do get paid per episode. I know that for a fact. Unless they changed it mysteriously, you get paid per episode. So when you're not in an episode, that is you forfeiting, honestly, probably $30,000, $40,000 for that one episode.
Which, so even if she was negotiating her contract, there was no way that she made more than she lost that episode. I mean,
unless she just killed it at wherever she was. It's kind of a, if she did forfeit being in an episode for work, it is a gamble, in my opinion, because kind of out of sight, out of mind a lot of times with the Bravo audience. However, them having the whole episode about her makes her relevant. Like, if I were a cast member, I would have probably made somebody irrelevant if I was really annoyed with them instead of talking about them nonstop.
I think this was a sign that production was pissed because not only did they film a whole episode without her, but they went on a whole trip without her. And they made the whole episode talking shit about her.
Will she be back next week?
I don't know. I'll know by the time this episode airs.
Like
but
next week would probably. So.
But I think we're teeing her up to be the bad guy this season, and we're going right out the gate with that.
Maybe because she was really likable.
I actually also think, and this is,
or you know what, when everybody doesn't like you, it can do a lot. Most of the time, it does the total opposite, where people feel bad for you because they're like, wait, nobody likes this person. I feel bad for them. Like, they have nobody. All these people are talking bad about them,
I think she's a huge part of the show regardless, but I do think another theory that I've seen floating around, which could be true, I don't think she wanted Bronwyn to come back after what happened last year.
What happened last year? I didn't watch last year. What happened last year?
All this stuff with Bronwyn lying about this necklace that she said she bought. And I think her and Lisa were really close, and Lisa brought her into the fold of the show. And then they both kind of turned on each other, or they both felt like they turned on each other. So I could see her not wanting Bronwyn back. Because Lisa's the reason that we have a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's been campaigning for that show to film for years and years and years. Yeah. Also totally separate. Jen Shah gets out in less time than not, and Andy has made it. He said someone one time the other day he wants to never see her again.
As he should. I feel like if you were convicted of doing what she did, I would honestly think less of Bravo if they brought her back. Going to jail for something like that, and I think she did a plea deal. Like I don't think they will bring her back. I don't. I think other, it's a very different thing than like Teresa, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. But also it's kind of interesting because the audience does not care about like if somebody's jewelry is real or not.
Right.
That's like, people fighting if somebody's Birkin's real or not, or like that is such a stupid thing to fight about. And most of the world doesn't own a Birkin, does not care, or doesn't, like a lot of people do not care about that stuff. That is a group of women who have a lot of money who don't really get like the real world
problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's like the last thing that an audience should care about or would care about. Like, okay, I'm sorry, who cares?
I think Salt Lake has a hard job I think this season is going to, and I could be totally wrong. I think this season is going to feel relatively boring compared to other seasons because they have had such knockout seasons. Like, I mean, someone going to jail while you're filming like that. How do you even like come up from that? But I'm excited. It's consistently good.
No, I won't watch it, but I will. I'll talk about whatever you tell me happened. But that's what I think. I mean, there are many things. So I gave you no answer. I gave you possibilities because I don't know. I will say normally, if there's a way to have you in, they will really push to have you in. However, maybe Lisa was like, "Listen, I've had this plan for a long time. I'm not doing it. Don't pay me." And they were like, they just took her up on it. And that was kind of a punishment that they did. Because normally, even if you can't be there, they will have you do like, phone scenes where people are getting ready. And then they're like, "Oh, we're so sad you can't be there." And then you're like, "Oh, I wish I was there." And then you get paid $40,000.
Or they would send a camera to Sundance.
I don't think they would do that because it's just her. No.
Yeah.
That would be a waste of their time and money. But normally they would have people FaceTime her during the cast trip before, after, and have her somewhat in the mix. And the fact that they didn't do that is strange. It is very strange. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Holman on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS. Bye.